So I just want to define our terms before we get started and establish a couple things about Tailstube in general. First, Tailstube as a video series is not inventing new lore. It is not retconning anything. It is not creating new canonical information about the franchise. Tailstube videos are restating and explaining canonical information that is already apparent about the Sonic franchise. There is nothing that the Tailstube videos have said that I wouldn't have already been able to explain to you with my infinite Sonic autism. Everything stated in the Tailstube videos is information that can already be apparent and understood about the franchise from the video games or from the comic books, which is what we're here to talk about today. But I just wanted to establish that right at the beginning here. The Tailstube videos are not inventing anything new. They are explaining what has already been established. Okay? Just putting that out there before we get into it.
All I know is, every so often, a portal opens up and I can travel back in time. Once I arrive, I have to figure out what's going on that I can change. I can't go back to my time until the problem's been solved. If I ignore the portal in my time, whatever went wrong in the past starts ruining the future.
This is factually wrong, and I can prove it. First of all, this is just some BS that Evan Stanley made up in the IDW comics. I defy you to show me a single scene or screenshot or line of dialogue that demonstrates this explanation to be how Silver's time travel works in the video games. You can't, because it isn't. The very first game to feature Silver the Hedgehog already demonstrates how Silver is able to time travel. You can't miss it. Two people have a Chaos Emerald, they use them to do Chaos Control, and that opens the time portal.
Chaos Control! Chaos Control!
There is no ambiguity. This is how Silver's time travel works, and this was supported by paratextual sources directly from Sonic Channel. This is a Sonic calendar series of Silver the Hedgehog where it says he has the ability to travel through time via Chaos Control. This random time portal nonsense is only stated in the IDW comics, and has not been supported by the games or any other official source from Sonic Channel. The supposition that this is just randomly happening and Silver doesn't know why is also not supported by Silver's dialogue in the games he has appeared in. Silver knows damn well why he's traveling to the past in Sonic Rivals 1 and 2. He's chasing down Eggman Nega and trying to stop the Ifrit. It's clear from the content of that game's narrative that he wasn't suddenly flung back into the past without understanding why and needed to figure it out. He already knew what the Ifrit was, how it would appear, and what he needs to do to stop it. In Sonic Colors DS, his dialogue suggests that he chose deliberately to go back in time to see Eggman's amusement park and see the exhibit on the World of the Future. And when he meets Sonic, he asks him if he needs help, and Sonic tells him, "No, I got this," and Silver says, "I'm sure you do. Okay. I'll step back and let you handle it." Nothing about this dialogue suggests he was sent here against his will, knowledge, or consent, and needs to figure out why so that he can set right what once went wrong and then be allowed to go back home. In Team Sonic Racing and Cross Worlds, Silver was sent an invitation by Dodon Pa and went back into the past to participate in the racing. This wasn't a random time portal sending him back. It was a deliberate invitation that he was capable of accepting on his own. In Sonic Forces, the game doesn't actually provide an explanation for how or why Silver is present, but the prequel comic that was released in the lead up to the game's release explicitly states he came back in time on his own by choice because the historical records suggested an impending calamity. And furthermore, if we're going by the IDW comics, issue number 8 has Silver explaining that he chose to go back in time after seeing that his future was ravaged by the metal virus. And they also have, in issue number 12, Silver saying that he's choosing to stay because he has a feeling that the future he escaped from might still happen. He's not saying anything about a weird, vague forces of the cosmos forcing him to stay. What he's saying is that he's staying here by his own volition. So, this random portals explanation is also contradicting the comic books themselves. So this comic cannot even keep its own nonsense straight. Evan Stanley's invention of these random time portals directly contradicts the previous IDW comics and proto-IDW comics written by Ian Flynn before Sonic Forces came out and before that Future Growth Annual story was written. The fact of the matter is that based on everything in the series, both the video games and the comics before this point, there are no unexplained, inexplicable portals that pop up to whisk Silver back in time without knowing why. The video games consistently demonstrate the opposite. That Silver uses Chaos Emeralds to open a portal in time with Chaos Control and goes back with an informed purpose. And the previous comics also allude with dialogue that Silver's ability to travel through time is something he can do by choice. Tailstube pushing this random portals crap is just a post hoc justification for the nonsense that Evan Stanley invented in the IDW comics, and is not supported by the canonical source material of the video games. Show me a video game which demonstrates this random portals crap, or shut up. Frankly, it is impossible for me to acknowledge this random time travel portals thing as legitimate. Even if we ignore the fact that it outright contradicts the established facts of how Silver's time travel has already been depicted and explained to work both in the games and in the comic books, the fact is that this new mechanism to explain his time travel fundamentally alters Silver as a character, and is thematically antithetical to the literary intentions of the world of Sonic the Hedgehog at large. This explanation turns Silver from a character who makes a choice to go back in time to protect his future into some kind of put-upon, destined, chosen one hero that fate has saddled with this responsibility against his will, knowledge, or consent. It removes his agency and completely alters his entire character. It fundamentally turns Silver into something else. Which is probably why Evan Stanley came up with the idea in the first place. She obviously hates Silver as the character that exists in the video games and wants him to be something different. She wants him to be the hapless, wide-eyed, aw gee shucks, put-upon hero of circumstance that he is in her DeviantArt fan comic. This is what Silver should be in Evan Stanley's mind, and she will warp the character that exists in the official canonical material to try and force him to fit into that mold. Sonic as a character is all about freedom and doing whatever he wants to do, and motivating everyone around him to be their best self. Inspiring people to make the choices they were afraid to make, to decide to become the person they always wanted to be. Choice and free will is a core, driving, fundamental element of Sonic's thematic identity. Then suddenly they introduce this idea of random time travel portals that impose their will upon Silver and force him to travel through time even if he doesn't want to? In the Tailstube video, he even directly says, "Can't fight fate, I guess."
Can't fight fate, I guess.
So now all of a sudden fate and destiny are irresistible forces within the metaphysics of the Sonic universe? All of a sudden these characters do not actually have a choice in their actions? They're compelled by destiny to battle evil even if they don't want to?
I'll make sure to change Elise's fate. And that in turn should change your future too.
This random time travel portal thing is complete bullcrap and is going to be ignored by Sonic Team. It contradicts previously established time travel mechanics. It is not supported by any official source from Sonic Channel. It fundamentally rewrites Silver as a character, and it is antithetical to the thematic foundations of the narrative of the franchise as a whole. Evan Stanley can try and jam this down the lore team's throat as much as she wants. It won't matter to the Sonic Team developers, and it doesn't matter to me. Sonic Team understands their characters and their world better than she does, and they're not gonna go along with this. If Silver's time travel mechanics were to ever be depicted in the video games, they will not function the way Tailstube described it in this latest video. More than likely, because of this, we're simply never going to see the mechanisms of Silver's time travel depicted in the video games whatsoever, and Sonic Team will simply never acknowledge this supposed explanation. Both because the explanation doesn't fit with their Silver and their world, but also because they've never needed to explain it before, so why start now? In conclusion, the lore team is full of shit. I'm the Sonic lore expert. Listen to me and not them, because I'm more autistic about Sonic than all of them put together.